What if I told you there's an isekai where the main character isn't an overpowered teen with a harem and a cheat skill? What if the world wasn't a medieval RPG knockoff, but rather a grimy Victorian city crawling with cults, cosmic horrors, and gods that may or may not be insane? Yep, that's Lord of the Mysteries. And if you're thinking of reading it or watching the upcoming anime, here's everything you need to know before diving in. Lord of the Mysteries is a Chinese web novel written by Cuttlefish that loves diving. And no, I'm not making that name up. It first dropped in 2018 and has since gained a massive cult-like following, not just in China, but worldwide. If you were to ask me what kind of genre this novel was, I'd say imagine a mix of Bloodborne, Sherlock Holmes, and Lovecraftian themes, and you get this series. It's smart, it's weird, and it's a slow burn. It's nothing like your typical fantasy or isekai series. You're not getting into fights every 5 chapters. You're getting rituals, conspiracies, old gods, and a protagonist who survives not because he's strong, but because he's intelligent and most importantly, careful. I know a lot of people who read the novel that keep hyping everyone about the world building, and I know there are still many that are still skeptical about that. So, what even is this world? Imagine a gothic steampunk world with a late 1800s vibe, with top hats, trains, pocket watches, mixed with tarot cards, seances, and monsters lurking in the shadows. It takes place mostly in the Lowen Kingdom, which is basically a twisted version of 19th century England, with foggy streets, cobblestone roads, mix of muskets, and steam machinery. The world feels stable on the surface, with churches, governments, and different groups that are seemingly good, but there's a constant sense of fear beneath all of that. The novel first drops you in the city of Tianjin, known for its scholars and universities, but within the first few chapters, you realize the city doesn't run on reason, and that there is this fragile illusion of normalcy. Our main character in this story is Klein, or well, it was Klein. In this case, a Chinese man wakes up inside Klein's body, a low-level history graduate, only to find himself in a locked room with a revolver on the table and blood all over the floor. Yeah, it's not your typical isekai start. He doesn't even know why he's here and what he's supposed to do. No system screen, no tutorials, just a lot of confusion, and we as the audience learn about the world alongside him. What really makes Klein stand out to me is that he isn't some edgy genius or emotionless monster. He's smart, yes, but most importantly, he's cautious, or even paranoid in certain cases. As Klein starts to understand the world better, he doesn't just go like, I must become the strongest, but rather he's like, let's try not to die today, please. Let's talk about the magic system, except it's not really magic. In Lord of the Mysteries, you don't level up, get some superpower or something of that sort. You drink a potion made of ingredients from who knows where to strengthen yourself. Drinking it allows you to become a Beyonder or people with supernatural abilities. But if you lose yourself and become too greedy, or try to force your advancement too soon, you go insane, or worse, you stop being human. There are 22 paths based loosely on the Tarot's major arcana. Each one has 9 sequences. Think of them like levels, from the weakest sequence 9 to the god tier sequence 1. Here's the twist, you can't just level up. To safely advance, you have to act like your role, like literally role-playing it. If your path is seer, you better act like a fortune teller. If it's sleepless, you learn to never sleep, like ever. It's called the acting method, and it's what keeps Beyonders from falling apart mentally. This system, it's a combination of both mechanical and mythological. It forces characters to change who they are to move forward, not just in strength, but in their identity as well. Now, this isn't some fantasy land where the Beyonders just run wild. They are controlled and regulated by organizations or secret societies. There are official groups like the churches, which worship different gods and they regulate Beyonders following a certain path. These guys are like the men in black of the LOTM world. Of course, there are unofficial Beyonders who are people who going rogue, forming cults, and making deals with forgotten gods. And finally, there's the secret societies who operate behind the scenes, each with its own agenda. To keep things from spiraling, these powerful organizations collect artifacts. These artifacts are obtained either when a Beyonder loses control, and what's left behind becomes a artifact, or a powerful individual crafts something with their own power. In a sense, think of it like the SCP, dangerous cursed items locked in vaults unless someone decides to use one. So I don't want to go too into it before it starts going to the spoiler territory. So to end it off, should you read or watch Lord of the Mysteries? Well, if you want a fast action heavy power fantasy like Solo Leveling, then this probably is not for you, especially the novel. But if you're into deep world building, a smart protagonist, cults, conspiracies, and a slow building dread, and a power system that is complex but somehow still makes sense, then yes, absolutely read it, watch it, and become part of the cult. I think the anime is set to drop soon, around June 28th, and it's being handled by BC May Pictures, which is a studio behind The King's Avatar, so I'm expecting good animation to say the least. And we also heard rumors that the author is also involved in the production, so it's probably not going to be like really bad paced, at least I hope. I think from the early reports, the anime has like a planned 5-season structure, and each episode is going to be 30 minutes long. And supposedly there's 1,000 frames per minute, which is pretty insane, but I don't know how true that is. But if this animation is done right with good pacing and good direction, this will probably be one of the best new series that's out this season or even this year. But if they rush it, it'll be pretty tragic, to be honest. So, anyway, I'm quite excited for this anime adaptation. So let me know in the comments if you're reading a novel or waiting for the anime and if you're excited for it. So if you like this video, then please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. If you have any recommendation for future videos, please let me know as well. And I guess see you guys.